At our format for the squad meet, no more than 2 events competing simultaneously. The vault and beam will alternate, bars and floor will alternate, and the teams will rotate in the Olympic order: vault, bars, beam, and floor. Tons of talent coming to you over the next couple of hours. Our first rotation about to start up here for Oklahoma. They'll be on the vaults, and Illinois will be on the bars. You see on the left side of your screen will always be the vault and the beam. Right side of your screen will have bars and floor, and then also on the right side of your screen we'll have the scores for you and overall scores down at the bottom there. So Faith Torres getting Oklahoma started up on the vault.
Great start from Faith there for this OU team. They're working on dialing in on those landings. They have 6 10.0 start value vaults, giving them an edge over the competition, starting super strong with Faith there. Abby with a big opening release move on the right side of your screen on bars, really holding down this Illinois team. Stuck this dismount yesterday in day 1 of the regional final. Let's see if she can get it again here tonight. Fought for it. They're going to take a deduction for that arm circle, but kind of got the stick, so maybe they won't take a deduction there. Great effort though.
Illinois in that unique position of having competed just yesterday, now moving on to today in the second round. Emma Pritchard, meanwhile, is stepping up for Ohio State to lead off on the beam, which is what she does for this Buckeye squad.
And Emma in this opening role, leading off this team for Ohio State, is a good, consistent competitor that you want to start off your lineup. Acro series right here, back handspring, layout, step out, glued to the beam. Nice job there. We talked with head coach Meredith earlier this week, and she said that Emma is focused on this dismount. She's been taking a hop backwards on her roundoff 1.5. It's a blind landing. They want her to take a hop forward. They know it will incur a deduction, but it'll be a smaller deduction than the one that she gets when she takes that hop backwards. Looking to see if she can get that on this dismount coming up right here.
Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, you see Edwards leading off on floor for NC State and the ACC champs, their first ACC title in 40 years. Been a special, unique season for them.
Great job from Emma there on the left side of the screen. Got that hop forwards, exactly what her coach wanted her to do. It is going to be a deduction, but that is less of a deduction than the hop back that she has been doing.
Your Wells gearing up to follow the 9.850 standard set by Faith Torres in the leadoff spot for Oklahoma on that vault. So Wells following her up, and Edwards wrapping up that floor routine.
Great effort from Katia there. 3 passes. Endurance is definitely there. Good vault from Kira for Oklahoma. Had that hop forward. Nice form in the air though. Her toes are pointed, legs are extended throughout that twist. Really what the judges want to see.
Oklahoma, the #1 seed at this region. By the way, Alabama's the 2 seed overall. They advanced again earlier today to the regional final along with Penn State. So these 4 teams now in the night session, top 2 would advance to Saturday.
Leg separation coming out of that Maloney and slightly in that shoot over, directly on top of the bar though.
Destiny Denning on the right side of your screen on the bars there. What'd you think of that landing, Kennedy?
She fought through it. Her chest was low. They'll take a deduction there, but good effort for the stick. They know that they need to get these landings if they want to have a chance at getting to the second regional final day of competition on Saturday.
Alexis Hankins, key leader for this Ohio State team in that 2 spot on beam. She's a 5th-year Nebraska native. Beam, one of her strengths, as Maddie Hall gears up to follow Edwards on the floor for NC State on the right side of your screen. A lot of red going on today, Kennedy, with these teams except for Illinois.
Yeah, be careful because there are a ton of teams in red trying to differentiate who is who.
Again, we'll always have the vault and the beam on the left side of the screen there, bars and floor on the right side, with your scores also on the right side.
Alexis putting in good work here on this beam routine. Beautiful job on that split quarter. Perfect 180 degrees.
So now they're ready to start on the floor after they were just had a brief pause there waiting for a score.
Double twist. Step backwards. A lot of power coming out of that dismount though, and it was a controlled step, which is good.
Hankins has always loved beam, going back to her high school days in Nebraska. She was the 2016 state beam champion in the Husker State. On vault for Oklahoma. Jordan Bowers gear up whenever she's about to go in this meet.
And if you want to look for amplitude, you can look for that in this vault. A step forward, you can tell from our angle she was a little crooked behind the table. The lines indicate to the judges where the athlete's at. No deduction for landing inside or outside of those lines. It just helps the judges know where they were at coming off of the table.
Bowers won the vault title in the Big 12 Championships, had a perfect 10 on that event at the Big 12s.
Oh, and she under-rotated that round off 1.5. You could tell her feet were just too far in front of her, didn't get the momentum she needed for that front layout out of it. Unfortunately, that will be a 5-10 deduction for the fall there. They might also debate on what her score was. That was supposed to be a round off 1.5 front layout. It looked more like a tuck, so the judges might confer on that score.
So that'll likely be the score that NC State want to drop there. Again, you drop one of the scores, keep the rest. So you see up at the top on our Oklahoma score, we have that top one from Faith Torres shaded in a light gray color, which means that's the one that Oklahoma would currently want to drop on the vault. Meanwhile, Amelia Knight on the bars for Illinois, and you have Peyton Harris on the beam for Ohio State. Two Big Ten teams on your screens here.
Stunning amplitude, tried to hold on to that dismount for Amelia. The height and hip rise she gets off of the bars is impressive, and I liked how her legs were together in that double layout.
A senior all the way from England, Amelia Knight. Now you see Ashley
Wow.
Knight.
That was perfection. She drilled that dismount. I know head coach Meredith Paula Civic is definitely going to be impressed and happy with that routine.
That was Peyton Harris, who was first team all Big Ten last year as a freshman, has really built on that as a sophomore, and now showing out here at the regional.
Kat Lavasser up for the OU team. She does a beautiful Yurchenko 1.5. She might have some of, if not the best form in NCAA, and you'll see it right here. Wow!
Wow.
That was excellent. Stunning work from Kat Lavasser.
Kennedy, that was so clean. For a moment, while we have a chance here, let's go back and look at Peyton Harris's dismount that you really loved for Ohio State.
Another piece of perfection here. Spots it, holds on to it, shows the salute, and then turns to the judges. That is exactly what you want to see when you're watching gymnastics. Great example.
Are the six getting contagious already here in Ann Arbor?
I definitely think so. These teams are dialed in. They know that the focus is on these landings, and they have to hit and get the landings if they want to be in contention for that Saturday competition.
Looks like Ashley Knight is waiting for a score on the floor right now for NC State on the right side of your screen there. Tori Vetter is gearing up to go on the beam for the Buckeyes. They gave Peyton Harris a 9.875, that last one we showed you. So we'll see if Vetter can follow that score up. And you see that conference taking place now on the floor.
Yeah, Jason, like you said, they're debating about Maddie Hall's score, what the start value is with that last pass. Tori started off a little shaky when she began her collegiate career. Now, rock solid. She has come into her own on this Ohio State team. Strongest she's ever been, always working, consistent in the gym, and it shows when she competes. Nice job there on her leaps. Well above that 180-degree split that the judges have to see. Gearing up for this dismount, she stuck it. Oh, just missed it, just a slight shuffle back with that left foot. But otherwise, really great work from Tori up on the beam.
Just the artistry of these Ohio State gymnasts is something that Meredith Polisiewicz really takes pride in as their head coach. When she was at Utah as an assistant, she choreographed a lot of the music and the selections for beam and floor.
I agree, Jason, and I really love their choreography. You're about to see it coming up on the floor exercise next. They might have my favorite choreography in this regional competition. Wow, and Hannah with a huge front pike half off of the table, 10-0 start value vault.
Ton of friends and family here today for Hannah Shively, the Kimball, Michigan native. Her mom, Melinda, was a collegiate gymnast at Central Michigan, and the family owns their own gym as well.
Ashley, slight under rotation, took a couple steps out of that. Unique leap pass there, torjete to torjete, well executed. I asked head coach Kim Landris what she wants from this NC State team this weekend, and she said she wants them to do their normal. And if they do their normal, they will get to where they need to be by the end of this regionals, hopefully to the finals and then NCAA championships.
They went 6-0 in the ACC, were the conference champs, both regular season and postseason.
Nice effort. Front 1.5 twist, also called a Rudy, to lay out, step out. Little mistake in the beginning for Ashley. Great way to close it, though.
Ashley's a freshman for the Pack, and you mentioned Coach Kim Landris. She has really emphasized how important her underclassmen are in this postseason run, as Ella Hodges is working on the beam for Ohio State, left side of your screen there.
Ella is incredible. She started as a walk-on, turned into a regular season All-American. A confident gymnast, especially when she gets up on the beam. Beautifully done. Gainer layout, step out. That is incredibly difficult. Caitlin for Illinois on the right. Nice amplitude on that opening release move. Just a little too much power for Ella. Good way to close. And Caitlin with the stick.
Caitlin Ewalds, great start for her today. Midst of that bars lineup for Illinois. Right now dropping the Destiny Denning score. That should be a good one there for the Fighting Illini.
That should be a big score for them.
Kennedy, one of my favorite quotes of the day from Natalie Walsh, the head coach for Illinois. She said, I want to bring out the fight in the Fighting Illini. You could see their energy on display.
Oh, and Ava's feet were just too far in front of her. Looked like her knees hyperextended slightly and took that fall, unfortunately. But they have a good set of scores already up, so they won't have to count that fall.
Ava Sigfeld also in their beam lineup, so she'll have a chance to bounce back later on for the Sooners. Krista Zoltevich on the floor right now for NC State.
Krista is a twister. You saw that opening tumbling pass, 2.5 twists to a front tuck. Her legs are side by side in the air, toes all the way pointed, great extension. Good completion all the way around on those leaps.
Kennedy, you and I did an NC State meet earlier this season against North Carolina, and when we spoke to Coach Landers earlier this season, Krista had just walked into her office and then walked right out, and just has fit in so well for this PAC program this year in their inaugural season back in the ACC with the resurgence of ACC gymnastics. She's been a really good fit for them. Courtney McCann on the other side of your screen there for Ohio State, anchoring that beam lineup.
Great last pass from Krista there. Courtney, I have to go back. She opened with a super difficult series. Round off layout 2 feet. I don't know if there's anybody else in NCAA doing that because it is so difficult. She had a slight wobble coming out of it, but stayed on the beam. Setting up for the dismount. Round off 1.5, a blind landing. That means she can't see where her feet land. Just a little under rotated, took that step back.
Courtney, a freshman competing in her first regional. So now for Illinois coming up here, it's Mia Takakawa, the grad student from Sacramento.
Mia has had a huge impact on this Illinois team. Kind and a great leader, has beautiful lines. Nice job getting that last handstand all the way on top of the bar. And a beautiful stick. Huge height from Angelica on the left side of your screen on that Yurchenko 1.5. Had so much power, almost landed off the mat.
Angelica is an individual qualifier from Illinois State. Mia Takakawa, a big hug there with her head coach Natalie Walsh.
Emily has a dynamic routine. She is powerful, but also elegant, really graceful. Opens with a big double pike, 2 flips in the straight legs. Fought to stay in bounds. Emily has done a great job stepping into this leadership role for NC State. Really helping gel this team together. Very well done. Directly to the stick, no lunge out of it. I love it when people stick like that. It's incredible. Final tumbling pass, double tuck, same as her first pass, but with her legs bent. Big power there. Nice job from Emily. Really fought on that first pass to stay in bounds. I believe she stayed in bounds.
Kennedy, I know you call her a part of their triple threat with Shepard and Ortega.
She has helped this team so much, and you can see it right here. This is just the kind of athlete she is. I think they waved the flag. They will have a deduction for out of bounds there. But the fight that she has is incredible, and it really aids this NC State team.
She'll be one to watch throughout this meet. Here's Leiden Saltness, freshman from Minnesota. Call her so calm, cool, and collected, but there, a mistake, and we'll have to bounce back early on here.
Leiden got so much height on that ray, but unfortunately she was too far away, couldn't get her grips and dowels over the bar. That'll be 5/10 in deduction. I love that she tried to go as big as she could for it, but unfortunately she just couldn't get her grip all the way back over the bar. Great job repeating the release move. Actually, sometimes it's harder when you fall to get back up and do it again because you're doing basically a full bar routine again. But you fell before that with extra skill, so you're a little bit more tired going into it, making it more challenging. Fought through that blindfold there and got the dismount. Good improvement for Leiden. She fell on the dismount actually yesterday, so I'm glad to see that she could get that around today. Just unfortunately missed that first release move.
Kennedy, like you said there, a mental and physical endurance moment there to battle through for Leiden Saltness as she anchored that bar lineup for Illinois, and now on the floor for the pack, Chloe Negretti to anchor this lineup for NC State, following up the 9.725 from Shepard.
Chloe is intense and incredible. Part of that triple threat of this NC State team. She's really confident in herself, which is nice to see this season. Has grown a lot. Probably her most consistent season. Nice effort there on that double pike. Buckled a little bit in her legs, but fought through it. And every time Chloe is competing, she is going for perfection. Even in practice, always striving for that. Beautiful front layout. Just setting up for last tumbling pass. Double tuck. Very well done. Great job from Chloe.
The NCAA Gymnastics Championship begins Thursday, April 18th with the semifinals on ESPN2. Then the final returns to ABC on Saturday, April 20th with a preview show at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and then the big meet at 4. For more information, go to NCAA.com for information on all 90 NCAA championships. So here we've got if you include earlier today's session, the first afternoon session, the schools that are responsible for the last 3 national titles, with Oklahoma winning the last 2, Michigan in 2021. Michigan won't advance to Saturday, though. It'll be Penn State and Alabama out of that afternoon session, advancing to Saturday. That's what 2 of these teams are attempting to do. Top 2 will advance to the regional final. Zoe Middleton, the individual qualifier from Ball State.
Zoe's a beautiful bar worker, really showing off her lines right there. I love how you can hear the Illinois team in the back chanting for her as well.
And Ball State isn't too far from Champaign, kind of some long distance teammates there. It is really cool to hear the teams cheering on the individual qualifiers.
Definitely helpful when you don't have your team behind you.
Next up on floor from Pittsburgh, Jordan Ewing.
Now Jordan Ewing from Pitt, another individual qualifier.
Jordan is a powerful tumbler. Great work there in her starting tumbling pass. She gives so much in her performance when she's doing her choreography. I love that she completed that all the way around. That wolf 1.5 is a challenging element. She leaves no room for error by showing that her feet are all the way around. A little under-rotated in that double tuck, had her feet just too far behind her. Nice work, though. And you saw Audrey Davis there hyping her Sooners up, getting ready to start their bar rotation. She stuck this at the ACC Championships. She tried to get the stick there. Unfortunately, her chest was really far down and she had to take that step forwards. Danny is a great starter for this OU team on bars. Really clean work. Full twisting double tuck. Couldn't find that landing, took that step backwards. Nice job leading off the team, though.
Mia Townis on the left side of your screen for Illinois on the beam. Yeah, Danielle Sievers loves that leadoff spot on the bars for Oklahoma. Savannah Gonzalez gearing up to lead off on floor for Ohio State.
I mentioned it earlier, but I really love this Ohio State floor choreography, starting with Savannah. Euphoria-inspired music and routine. They have a lot of lyrical dancing on this exercise, which is a little different for college gymnastics. Always enjoyable to watch. Mia, stunning series right there.
Meredith Polisivic told us she's a big Justin Timberlake fan, among other artists that you'll find trickling into some of this music.
Excellent job on her second pass. Nice stick from Mia on the beam. Leading off Illinois in a great way.
Coach Walsh told us earlier today that Mia, there's just this incredible authority that she sets the tone with on beam for Illinois.
And speaking of authority, Alexis Ortega is about to go on vault, and she definitely competes with authority. Nice control out of that pass for Savannah. Great start to this floor lineup for Ohio State.
I'm loving how the euphoria music complements just the overall drama of that floor routine.
It does.
There is a scoring issue over on the vault. So Ortega patiently waiting. Talk about how those moments can be so hard when you're patiently waiting to get things that the paperwork sorted out before you can go.
Waiting is harder than doing the routine, 100%. The anticipation of the routine feels more intense the longer you have to wait. You have to just calm your nerves, trust your training and gymnastics. Beautiful work on the bars from Kat Lavasser. Just impeccable form.
Lavasser, an NCAA first team All-American on both the bars and the vaults.
Really coming into fruition this season. Excellent stick there.
Now Ortega can go on the vault for NC State.
A lot of power out of that, took that hop back. NC State has to start getting these landings, especially on vault.
So now Nicole Riccardi going to follow up Savannah Gonzalez on the floor for Ohio State.
Nicole opens with a big double pike. Little slide to that lunge. Way to stay in control though. Amelia Knight working beside her on the balance beam. Setting up for her acro series here. Side heel back handspring. Straight to the lunge. Stellar work there for Amelia. Nice side flip, stays in control. The hardest gymnastics she's actually ever done is in her senior season. And it's a great example to her teammates. Beautiful gator pull off the side. Amelia with a stellar routine, and she's just such a fierce competitor. Attacks the beam, aggressive on her skills, but great extension throughout. Nice job.
Just a strong start for this Illinois team that is the so-called underdog amongst these four. And they were second behind Oklahoma heading into this rotation when it came to cumulative score. Meanwhile, Meg Adler getting set to follow up Ortega's 9.725. They gave Lavasser on the bars for OU a 9.9, so Faith Torres will try to follow that up.
Yurchenko full, that's a round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table. Nice form throughout on that full twist, had that hop back though, and Faith, huge ray release move. Faith is someone you want in your lineup. She is so cool and composed every time she competes, no matter what event. She's just chill. Beautifully done, double layout, just a slight separation of her legs. But the judges are from the side. Sometimes they don't see things that we see because of our angle.
Faith, a sophomore, she was the 2023 Big 12 Newcomer of the Year last year, really built on that this season. All Big 12 once again. Aaliyah Byrne gearing up on the left side of your screen over on the beam.
Illinois with some great scores leading this beam rotation. They just have to keep this energy going throughout. That was excellent. Impeccable form in the air. They do not look like the underdogs to me at all. This Illinois team is stepping up today. I love to see it. And Sydney Washington, nice job on that double pike. Really pretty form in the air. Toes pointed, that's impressive.
Sydney Washington.
Layout front full.
Sydney Washington, by the way, from right here in Ann Arbor. So returning home in the Buckeye Red. Began her career at Pitt, but back home in Ann Arbor, tons of friends and family here for her.
Well done from Aaliyah there.
Kennedy, you said it, sticks are going to be so key down these final few rotations.
The hops and the steps out of these dismounts are giving away tenths. They have to dial in these landings to stay in contention. And Sydney Washington did just that on that double tuck right there. Showed that stick straight to the lunge, exactly what the judges want to see.
Hear all the cheers raining down for an Ann Arbor native back home in the Buckeye Red. Ashley Knight on the left side of your screen there. Went on the vault for NC State.
NC State's first 10.0 vault, and she sticks it. That is the energy that NC State needs right now throughout the rest of this meet, especially this vault rotation.
Reagan Smith, fifth-year gymnast for Oklahoma on the right side of your screen. A lot of confidence for her on the bars.
Reagan attacks her gymnastics like you saw right there. Oh, had some stutter steps coming out of that dismount. Tried to hold on, dug those toes into the ground, just couldn't get it. But the height that she got on that opening release move connected it right into her transition down to the low bar. Outstanding, really impressive work.
Abby Mueller going on the left side of your screen for Illinois on the beam. On that note of Reagan Smith going there, we'll keep an eye on her as this meet goes along. She had not one, not two, not three, but 4 consecutive perfect scores on the beam from February 17th to March 3rd. Just these Oklahoma numbers, they are ridiculous. You almost have to double take when you examine some of them for individuals and as a team this year. Tori Vetter, meanwhile, on the right side of your screen here for Ohio State, about to go on the floor as Mueller continues her beam routine.
Abby is showing off why she is in the later part of this beam lineup. Confident and composed up there. Taking one skill at a time. Doing exactly what she needs to do. Big first pass from Tori Vetter on the right side.
First year that Abby Mueller, first year that she's competed in the all-around for them too.
And gets that dismount. That was incredible. Held on to it, dug those toes into the ground, and then showed it off. For a 1.5 distance from Emily. She got so far away from the table on that vault. Gorgeous work on the floor from Tori. That should be a nice score.
And it follows up what was a 9-9 from Sydney Washington. Loved her performance on the floor too for Ohio State. Caitlin Ewald waiting to go on the beam for Illinois. Audrey Davis, who they call Amazing Audrey, on the right side of the screen for Oklahoma.
Audrey Davis has done a lot of near perfect routines, getting her first 10-0 on bars earlier this season, and you'll see Rye right here. Her form is stellar. A great leader for this OU team, but also a great competitor. Always steps up when she's ready to go. If there's a mishap in the lineup, Audrey Davis is going in. And you see why. Got that dismount. Keeping this OU team on track.
The senior Davis comes through again. Bowers will anchor that bars lineup for Oklahoma. That is quite the tandem at the end of the bars lineup for the Sooners.
Difficult jump combination, split jump, standing, switch leap, straddle quarter. Very well executed. Caitlin, the dismount left. Front 1.5 twist from 1 foot, nails that landing. With Peyton Harris on the right side of her screen, nailing her pass as well. Great job on her leaps right there.
Peyton Harris, an all-arounder for the Buckeyes. McGrady coming up here on the vault.
She sticks this full often. Tried so hard to get that landing, just slight under rotation, had to take that step forward. A lot of power on that double pike, slid back into the lunge. They will take a deduction. But great work from Peyton on the floor.
Kennedy, I'm loving just the smiles on the faces of the athletes for Illinois right now. You mentioned how confident they look. That's Mia Takakawa there on the left side of your screen, about to anchor this beam lineup and try to continue their strong start. Is there something to have they just competed yesterday and now kind of you're backing that up right away today? Not much time to think about it?
Yeah, well, actually, after talking to Coach Natalie Walsh earlier, she said that everything was on the line with yesterday's competition. So today, they're going lights out. They're just doing the biggest gymnastics with great form and stuck landings, getting the job done. Also getting the job done, Jordan Bowers on the right side of the screen. You want to talk about perfection, Jordan has to be in the conversation. Full twisting double tuck. She got a 10 on it at Big 12 championships. We might see another one here today. That was huge for OU. They needed that routine, and she delivered.
She had 3 10s in the Big 12 championships, which is just ridiculous, but that's her standard. It's a crazy standard, but a standard she has set for herself. 6 total 10s on the year, 2 on the bars, 1 on the floor, 3 on the vaults.
putting in the work here. Really nice to see her get that landing. She stepped it up. Yesterday, she actually had a fall on beam, so to see her deliver today is great.
Ella Hodges is a regular season All-American on the floor on the right side of your screen for Ohio State.
Nice job on her leaps there for Ella. A little short off the table for Victoria. Took that step backwards. Hard to compete as an individual, though.
Zoe Middleton, another one of our individual qualifiers from Ball State, about to come up on the left side of your screen.
Last pass for Ella here. Front Rudy, 1.5 twist to lay out, step out. Nice job going directly to the lunge, coming out of that layout, step out. A great way to close that rotation for Ohio State.
Next up will be from Ball State, Zoe Middleton.
Slight balance check there out of her switch leap. Back handspring layout, step out. Great control from Zoe. She is an efficient beam worker.
See her teammate from Ball State, Suki Pfister, gearing up on the right side, another individual qualifier.
Held on to that landing out of that tuck front full. Really well done from Zoe. Her teammate Suki up now on the floor. Definitely a fun one to watch here. Little music mishap.
It is set to lead off on the bars for NC State. Courtney McCann on the left side of your screen for Ohio State will lead off on the vault for the Buckeyes.
Just a small shuffle forward for Courtney. Otherwise, great way to get the momentum going for Ohio State. Kaylee putting in great work on the bars as well. And gets the stick. Good delivery from Kaylee there.
That's her specialty over on the bars. Kennedy, I feel like we just talked about Audrey Davis, but you talk about Audrey Davis a lot when you're watching Oklahoma gymnastics, and she is coming up here to lead off on the beam for OU.
You have to. She has been and played such an important role on this OU team. So consistent. Delivering big gymnastics week after week.
Audrey Davis's lone fall of her career came on the beam, and this is the 12th routine of her career. She's a senior now, by the way. Since then, she's hit 186 routines in a row, dating all the way back to February 7th of 2021.
Definitely someone you want in your lineup. 100%.
I wouldn't argue with her there.
Ariel delivering on her leap pass. I love how clearly she showed she completed it all the way around. Didn't skirt those landings. Audrey holds on to it. Just a little low, but she gets that dismount stick, starting this beam rotation off strong for OU. Ariel with a big double tuck there. Sydney with the stick again. Stuck those passes on floor and then went over to vault and did the same thing. A Yurchenko full right to the landing. That 995 start value, but wow, minimal deduction on that landing.
Sydney Washington was excellent on the floor for Ohio State, carrying that momentum over to the vault for the Buckeyes, following up what was a 9.825 for Courtney McCann. Peyton Childs, right side of your screen there, getting set to go second in the bars lineup for the pack. Ava Sigfeld on the left side of your screen for Oklahoma. See here talking with KJ Kindler there. KJ, the Big 12 Coach of the Year for the 13th time as head coach of Oklahoma. The team had a brunch at her house earlier this week, just kind of settling in and turning the page from regular season to postseason. Of course, did an excellent job in the Big 12s last week and now on to the national stage in this regional.
Peyton closing out that routine well. Dismount to the stick. She was a little short on her transition down from the high bar to the low bar. They'll take a deduction for that. Prior to the Big 12 championships, Ava had one beam 10 and one beam fall, working on just getting to a pace with her routine, still figuring it out. Beautiful work on that front aerial.
Right side of your screen, Abby Mueller on the floor for Illinois. Again, first year she's competed on the all-around for the Fighting Illini.
Stunning stick from Ava with that gainer full dismount. Getting more consistent each week with her beam routine, which is what she wants to do.
Ava, another testament to just the depth that this OU team possesses. She's just a sophomore. Caitlin Grimes now getting set to go up on the left side of the screen for Ohio State on the vaults.
She got this vault at the Big Ten Championship, stuck it, nails it again. Back-to-back sticks for Caitlin. That's gonna be a big score. Wow, that was really good. Abby showing good control out of her lead passes as well, and a big smile at the end. Really great work from Abby.
Madeline Reed gearing up on the right side of your screen to go on the bars for NC State. And then Jordan Bowers on the left side for Oklahoma. Her exceptional junior year, cementing herself in the OU record books and the gymnastics record books in general. Continuing on here at this regional tonight.
My first meet for NC State was Maddie Reed was in the lineup for the first time. Nice to see her keep that consistency throughout the season. delivering solid gymnastics.
Like you said, Kennedy, at the beginning of the season, Reed wasn't in the lineup, really worked her way in, and she's another example of depth for NC State.
She's worked so hard to break into this lineup and does a great job delivering clean routines for NC State. Full twisting, double tuck, stunning stick coming out of it. She's going to be excited about that routine for sure. Jordan Bowers. Impeccable work up on the balance beam. She is so fierce when she competes. Constantly going after perfection in all of her skills. And nails that stick at the end. A little bit of leg form in the air if I'm being extremely picky. But the rest of that routine was incredible.
See Allie Morgan on the floor now for Illinois, right side of your screen. Riccardi about to go in the vault for Ohio State.
Big double tuck for Allie to start her routine off there. And Nicole with a clean Yurchenko full, piked it down slightly at the end, had that small shuffle backwards, but I love how her legs are glued together in the air throughout her entire vault.
Nicole, twice second team all Big Ten. Again, it was Ohio State just barely trailing Illinois entering this third rotation, with Oklahoma leading the way.
Allie doing a great job on that floor routine. Should be a good score for Illinois. Faith on the left for OU. Calm in every event she competes, specifically beam though. Her demeanor is so poised, focused and relaxed. Really what you want as a coach from your beam workers in the lineup.
That beam just comes so naturally for Torres. Katie Harper going up on the bars for NC State.
Nice job from Faith. Beautiful release move from Katie. That's called a ginger. Nailed, darted that shoot over straight to handstand following that ginger. That's going to be a big score. Awesome routine from Katie.
Harper, freshman from Columbus. One of the big storylines for NC State has been the emergence of freshmen into their lineup. Peyton Harris about to take the vault for Ohio State.
Ohio State's first 10-0 vault. Yurchenko 1.5. Tried to find that landing, took that hop forwards. Great control coming out of it though.
Aaliyah Byrne, meanwhile, going up on the floor here for Illinois.
Opens with a big 2.5 front pike. I like that opening tumbling combination. Usually you see people do the second skill in the tuck position. I like that she keeps her legs straight in a pike. And Aaliyah loves to compete.
Waiting on a score on the beam right now before Levasseur can go for Oklahoma.
there. Illinois is doing an awesome job just keeping this momentum going, not just throughout this competition, but on floor especially. They're just doing routine after routine, consistent hits. Love to see it. Kat is a beautiful gymnast, especially on beam. Her form is impeccable. A little shuffle out of that leap combination. And Alexis Ortega fighting for that handstand. You could tell, oh. Had her feet too far over the bar. Had that tip over. Fortunately, that's going to be 5/10 in deduction right there.
And that is typically a really good combination for NC State at the end of that bars lineup with her and Shepard. You've called Ortega and Shepard a part of that triple threat with Negretti.
Huge gainer full from Kat Lavasser, really picking up this OU beam lineup.
Tori Vetter, one of the all-arounders for the Buckeyes, anchoring their vault lineup. Will be interesting to see what their score is at the end of this rotation. Very tight with Illinois.
You could see she dug those heels into the ground. Gave a lot of effort into getting that landing. Unfortunately, had that small step back. Clean form throughout that twist on the Yurchenko full.
Still awaiting that Lavasser beam score for Oklahoma before Reagan Smith, who's taking a couple of deep breaths right now, can go to anchor that lineup. Hayden Fitzgibbon on the floor for the Fighting Illini.
Well, if there's someone you want the anchor spot for your beam lineup, it's definitely Reagan Smith.
Reagan Smith earned the beam title for the second year in a row at Big 12s. At a perfect 10, was just unbelievable what she's done in this particular event this season.
Hayden setting up for her last pass. Little short coming out of that double pike, tried to cover it with choreography. The judges might take a deduction there, though, coming out of that double pike. And if you want to see someone who attacks the beam, that is Reagan Smith. She goes after these landings. Beautiful work, front aerial, like super straight in the air. Reagan has a lot of fun doing gymnastics. One of those athletes that has a lot of skills in her bag. Nice work on that full turn. That's a requirement for every beam routine. Just the dismount left. Gainer full off the side. Gets it. She crushed that routine. That was really good. That is going to be a big score for Oklahoma.
The queen of the beam in the Big 12 does it again. We'll see what they give Reagan Smith. And it was a 9-9 before her from Kat Lavasser. Faith Torres at a 9.925. Bowers with a 9.9. So just a really strong finish on the beam for OU. Meanwhile, Shepard going on the bars for NC State. The Pack will have to keep that 9.450 from Peyton Childs because of the Ortega score.
Emily with a great routine, though, to bounce back from Alexis's fall. Suki a little short on that front pike half off the table, took that step forward. On a skill like that, the judges would rather see a step backwards than forwards. It shows that you had more power.
Mia Taunis will anchor the floor for Illinois.
Mia really sets the tone for this team and this routine. Steps on the floor with authority, ready to compete. You can see she's having fun with her teammates there, dancing it out before this first pass. Beautiful. Front 1.5 to a straddle jump. That was incredibly high. Mia does a 2-pass routine. So this is her last pass. Round off 1.5 front half. That was actually supposed to be a front full. That could change her start value if she doesn't make it up in another area here. Georgia straddle full, really good height and extension on her leaps, getting that 180-degree split. That was a good routine. I'm curious to see what the judges, though, will do with that 1.5 front half.
See what they give Towns. By the way, it was a perfect 10 for Reagan Smith on the beam there to anchor that lineup for OU. So she did it at the Big 12s. She does it again here at the regional in Ann Arbor.
Well, Jason, we did say that we would probably call a 10 this meet, and I'm not surprised that it's Reagan Smith. That routine was excellent. Big Takachev there, down to the low bar. Double front half, finds that landing. Really nice work from Megan there. It's hard to compete as an individual, but also all of these individuals are going last. So not only do they have to compete by themselves without their team here, but they also have to compete in that 7th spot.
Final. You see the 4th rotation. It'll be Illinois on vault, Ohio State on bars, NC State on the beam, and Oklahoma on the floor. We saw earlier today in our afternoon session, it was Penn State in a position where Illinois is right now in that 3 spot. They leapfrogged Michigan and found themselves now locking up a spot into the regional final. Could we have a similar situation tonight?
I think we could. It's definitely up for grabs for that 2nd spot. All of these teams are fighting, though. NC State is still in this as well. They are going to have to go lights out on beam, though, if they want to get to Saturday.
That's some great coaches in this night session. KJ Kindler for Oklahoma, Big 12 Coach of the Year for the 13th time. For NC State, the ACC champs under Kim Landris. Illinois, we had a really fun conversation with Natalie Walsh earlier today. I know you've been really impressed by Illinois in this one. They had to get here. They had to surpassed Ball State yesterday in the first round to qualify for the second round. Mia Takakawa going on the left side of your screen on the vault to lead off for them, and an impressive start for her there. Emma Pritchard, meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, leading off on the bars for Ohio State.
Slight under rotation, took that step forward. Mia has been impressing me for this Illinois team all day, especially just there. Starting so strong for her team, sticking that Yurchenko full.
Meg Adler on the beam leading off for NC State, left side of your screen, and Audrey Davis about to do the first floor routine for the Sooners.
Meg has done a good job in this leadoff spot for NC State, helping start and put them on track for a great beam rotation. Audrey Davis, stunning form in the air on that front double twist. Beautiful side aerial from Meg.
Meg Adler's parents went to North Carolina, by the way, so a house that once wore the Carolina blue and white has shifted over to the NC State red.
Really fought to get that dismount. Got the stick. They will take a deduction for the arm swings, but great fight. That's really what Kim Landress wants to see from this team right now, is the fight that they have to finish on this event and finish well.
Meg had a great summer, really grew a lot. Audrey Davis finishes up her floor routine leading off for Oklahoma.
Really getting the ball rolling there for OU, carrying on the momentum. They built on beam straight into the floor rotation. Olivia with a nice Yurchenko full. A small adjustment backwards, but clean form in the air.
Sydney Washington going on the bars for Ohio State. Kapala with a nice vault routine following up Takakawa's 9.850.
Sydney struggled a little bit coming up on this dismount. At the Big Ten Championships, it was slightly crooked. She had to make an adjustment in the bar routine. Today, very straight. Good job. Just a small shuffle back.
Illinois and Ohio State neck and neck with one another. It was Ohio State with a slight lead heading into this rotation. Oklahoma at the front. Belle Johnson, Norman, Oklahoma native, who started going to Oklahoma gymnastics meets when she was 6 years old, living her dream.
Macy opens with a difficult triple series here. Belle, nice work on that front 1.5. Balance check with her arms. There will be a deduction there. Good work staying on the beam though. A lot of power in that double tuck for Belle. Great job controlling it into the lunge though. Nice effort from Macy to get that stick out of that gainer full. They are fighting for every 10th in this beam rotation. Good routine from Belle Johnson for OU on the right as well.
Now Mia Towns getting set for Illinois on the vault. A good start for them on that event. Kind of fitting that we have an Illinois gymnast on the left side and an Ohio State gymnast on the right side in Tori Vetter, as those two teams will be tight going down the stretch here in this fourth rotation.
I know both these athletes are fighting to get these sticks for their team. She didn't quite get the pop off the table that she needed. You could tell her arms were a little bit bent coming in, couldn't really get that distance and height that she wanted out of that 1.5, but that's a 10-0 start value vault. Tori with a nice routine, closing it up strong, just a small step forward.
Katie Harper now going on the beam for NC State.
A little short in her split on that 3/4.
Reagan Smith, fresh off the 10 on beam, will now shift over to the floor for Oklahoma.
Reagan opens with a big double tuck like Zoe. She doesn't grab either. Nice stick, straight to the lunge. Awesome way to start this routine for Reagan. Great work on her second pass there, right into her choreography. Katie Harper with a tough front full directly to the stick. Great way to close it out. Reagan's got a lot of endurance. She does 3 passes in her routine. And they start doing their endurance work in December, training for that. And head coach KJ Johnson said, KJ Kindler says it shows right here in the season now. That endurance work that they put in September, November, and December.
Just saw Aaliyah Byrne go on the vault for Illinois. She didn't compete in postseason last year. This year on 3 events for the Fighting Illini, and a crucial one on the vault here. We'll see what they give her. Hayden Harris coming up on the bars for the Buckeyes. Left side of your screen, we're waiting on a beam score for Katie Harper before Alexis Ortega can go over there for NC State.
Hayden opening with a big straddle ray there. Well executed, nice form throughout. Double tuck dismount directly to that stick. That should be a big score for Peyton and this OSU team.
Could be a pivotal one in this 4th rotation.
It's definitely going to come down to these last couple of routines here.
So we'll see what that Peyton Harris score comes out to and how impactful it could be in deciding who gets that 2nd spot behind likely Oklahoma, as Kat Levasseur is about to go on the floor for the Sooners.
Alexis Ortega fighting through this beam routine. She opened with a difficult acro series. Nice full end from Kat Levasseur. And a stick from Alexis Ortega. NC State needed that stick. Head coach KJ Kindler said the belief that Kat Lavasser has in herself this year has upped her performance to the level that you're seeing now, and it's one of, if not her best season so far at OU. Abby for Illinois tried to get the stick. Chest was a little low coming out of it to try to get that stick. Stunning 180-degree split from Kat Lavasser on floor. Really, really great work from Kat there.
That floor lineup for OU, you see it'll be anchored by the Big 12 Gymnast of the Year, Jordan Bowers, and Torres before her. Nicole Riccardi about to step up here for Ohio State. It'll be a big bar routine to follow up. They gave Kennedy Payton-Harris a 9-9. Huge score there for her. And the best on the bars so far for Ohio State. So what can Riccardi do to follow that up here?
Nicole follows up with the same release move. A huge ray. I love the height she gets off of the bar, and that pack salto was perfection. The way her legs are glued together in the air, the height she gets before she touches the low bar. Not a lot of people are doing it that well. Right to the stick. Good routine for Nicole. That should be a big score as well as Peyton's. Great way to follow Peyton's routine up.
There's been a looseness to both Ohio State and Illinois today that's been really fun to watch for both of those programs as Faith Torres is gearing up to go on the floor for Oklahoma. Emily Shepard still working over on the beam for NC State.
Faith got her first perfect 10 at the Big 12 Championships. On floor. Stunning. Double layout. Beautiful form throughout. When I talked to head coach KJ Kindler earlier this week, she says that Faith is working on sassing up her routine, and I think she's doing a pretty good job of it.
Already an All-American on the floor. Has taken huge steps there. Just the floor and the beam comes so naturally to Faith. And now, Joe, why not just sass things up a little bit? Ariel Ward about to anchor that vault lineup for Illinois on the left side of your screen. Will be immensely important for the Fighting Illini as she takes a deep breath before starting this routine.
Perfection from Faith Torres on that last pass. Double tuck, no lunge, stuck it. Yurchenko 1.5. Had a lot of height off of the table. Unfortunately, anticipated the landing too earlier, had those feet in front of her, took those steps back.
So now rounding out the bars lineup for Ohio State, Alexis Hankins. They just got the score in for NC State on B, 9-8 for Emily Shepard. So Chloe Negretti will anchor that lineup for the pack. Bars is definitely a strength for Hankins, right side of your screen.
Absolutely, Jason. You just saw that big release move she did directly down Well, not directly, but she did a cast to her low bar transition. You saw that leg separation as well. The judges will take a deduction. Remember, though, they don't have the same angles up. They're coming from the side, so they can't see all the same deductions that we see. Beautiful fight through that routine from Alexis. Way to follow up Nicole's 9.875 right before her. And Chloe Negretti putting in the work on beam, looking confident like she always does.
The Buckeyes can feel it now, just awaiting that final score.
It's been really cool to see Ohio State perform throughout this competition and season, to see them stepping up and really coming into their own.
One of their most consistent years under Meredith Polisiewicz. Her first year as head coach was 2018, was an assistant at Utah before that.
Chloe just stuck that dismount cold.
Really strong last couple of floor routines for OU. We'll see how Jordan Bowers can finish it off for the Sooners.
Stunning front double twist to front tuck right there. Big Yurchenko full from Zoe Middleton, closing out her competition on the vault. A great all-around competition for her. Competing in that individual spot. Jordan Bowers with that clean double pike directly to the lunge. Really stunning work from Jordan there on the floor. Not only her passes, but her choreography as well. It just draws you in. It brings the crowd in. And she's got the tumbling to back it up.
Now you see Nia Kraus, another individual qualifier going on the left side of your screen. Ashley Szymanski from Ball State will be on the right side of your screen. And it is going to be Oklahoma and Ohio State advancing to Saturday. That 9-9 from Peyton Harris on the bars for Ohio State was such a big difference maker for the Buckeyes. So it'll be them and Oklahoma locking in their spots on Saturday for the regional final here in Ann Arbor, joining Penn State and Alabama, who advanced earlier today.
Very happy for Ohio State and Oklahoma getting to that Saturday competition. I have to say, I am a little bit sad for NC State, though. They were just a little bit off at this competition, unfortunately, because they had such a phenomenal season. And of course, Illinois killed it. Great work from Nia there on the balance beam. Way to fight and stay on throughout the routine, competing 7th. Individually, only on beam, super difficult.
Julia Bedminster here, another individual qualifier.
Beautiful opening tumbling pass there. Julia is so dynamic on the floor exercise. Competes with so much passion. Really loves dancing out there and getting into her choreography. Definitely a fun one to watch on this event. Beautifully done, round off 1.5 to front layout. Dance straight out of that pass. Great work from Jalea as well. On the floor exercise, closing out OU's floor rotation, but as an individual. Serve to get to the Saturday competition. Cannot wait to see them this weekend.
Coach Paula Civic told us that she felt they left a lot out there on the Big Ten championship stage. She feels they have been very close, and now they're one step closer as they're gonna lock up the tape and the spot in the regional final on Saturday.
Also advancing to the regional final with a top score of 198.050, the University of Oklahoma Sooners.
Excellence in April continues for the Sooners, but far off from their ultimate goal. However, just like the Buckeyes, one step closer to that goal. But for Oklahoma, it's a goal of a three-peat, the last 2 national titles. And here is one step closer to another as they'll advance to the regional final with some relative ease today in Ann Arbor. So the all-around winner, Oklahoma, Jordan Bowers, the Big 12 Gymnast of the Year, wrapped up her floor routine with a 9.950. This going back to the bars here. She had a 9.975 there. See her scores. Then on the beam, just was superb again. 33rd career event title. See in the midst there, KJ Kindler, this Oklahoma team. Kennedy, you watch them and it's such a business-like approach, step by step. They know this is just step one, trying to get to their goal. Really fun storylines here. Penn State was able to leapfrog Michigan in the final rotation of our afternoon session to get that spot. And then it's Ohio State was able to leapfrog Illinois in this night session to claim their spot. So the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 all represented in the regional final on Saturday, as we are now joined by Oklahoma head coach KJ Kindler. KJ, just curious what you told your team there. We were just watching in on your conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we were okay today. We definitely weren't ourselves, and that started in the warm-up. Weren't as disciplined, weren't as dialed in, and I was just talking to them about that. No regrets. You're going through this thing. I don't want you to have any regrets. So everything we do from this moment on till the next meet starts, we need to be a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more dialed in. We lost momentum during that meet a little bit. We felt on vault and bars like we can do things so much better, and I think that's good. I think it's, you know, you come into this meet, you lace the first day, sometimes you get a little nervous. We have so much more in the tank.
And KJ,
that's what I was telling them.
We spoke with you earlier about putting together a great four, like you said, trying to stay in your rhythm and do your normal. How do you want to see that play out on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we were in our normal selves today. We had really great moments, though. There were some really great moments. Jordan's bar routine, Reagan's beam. Actually, beam altogether was pretty solid. But we're just a little bit better when we're completely cohesive. So that's just what we need to do for Saturday. And like I said, just recover as great as we can.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Reagan there. What did you think about her 10 on beam?
So cool, right? I mean, in these meets, it's so hard to get a 10. You have 4 opinions, and so it's just much more difficult to get a score like that. But, you know, I've seen her do that routine so many times, and it looked just like it always does. So I knew it was possible.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Congratulations. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.